Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I wanted to share with you some plant propagation updates. They're just some little things that I've done since the fall and through the winter that I thought would be interesting for you to see. And we're going to start over here with a rosemary plant right there. Now if you recall, back in the fall I did a video about how to overwinter your rosemary. One of those techniques on overwintering rosemary was to actually take some cuttings of it, bring it indoors to keep them safe until spring. And that's exactly what I did. So let's go take a look at these rosemaries. So as you can see, there's two pots that are inside this larger planter. And this one here has nothing in it. And that is because all four of those particular cuttings failed. But on the other pot, all four of them succeeded. And you can see they've got some nice roots coming out the bottom, and it is actually time to get them potted up. Now inside here, I put basically some potting soil in the bottom, and then the top layer is sand. So all you can see there is the sand right now from him. And I feel like that was really a successful way to do it, because once they started to develop roots, they were able to get a little bit of nutrition from the potting soil that was there in the bottom. Of course, having them in the little planter here gave it a nice place where if they had some extra water, it could serve as a little bit of a reservoir for them to take that up. And it kept some decent drainage because, you know, rosemary is one of those Mediterranean plants that really likes to have a decent amount of drainage. You don't want it too waterlogged because then the roots start to rot, and I've had problems like that before, especially like on the northern side of a house. But you can see here I've got some really nice looking healthy leaves on that rosemary. I'm going to take this out now and we're going to see what those roots look like inside, and then we're going to pot them up. So this rosemary is the ARP variety of rosemary. I planted two of them, and it seemed to do really well with cutting. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just loosening up the side of the pot, and I'm going to let everything just kind of fall out and be real gentle with it. And so I'm going to take a look at these individually. So you see that we've got some decent roots on that one. That one's a little small, but it's okay. It will grow. And that one's got a really nice set of roots along it. You can see there that's probably a good 4 to 5 inches or so of roots. And this one's got a pretty good root system too. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to upgrade them into these pots and plant them individually. These are just regular nursery pots that I've saved over the years. And we'll put some potting soil in it, put these in, and then we'll keep them indoors until it's really safe to put them outside, because we don't want to shock them with frost and stuff. And we'll gradually acclimate them when we're closer to the last frost date, which around here is about April 15th. Now sometimes I find it easiest to repot things. I just fill up like half the container of soil, or up to where I want the roots to go, and then I've filled up a second container. And I just take that container and kind of work my way around those roots. Now since it's still kind of dry and not sticking to the plant real bad or anything, I can kind of play with that, pack it down, and lift the plant up gently as I'm packing things down to get it set so that it's not going to be too deep in the pot. And there we go. I'll do that for the other 4, and we'll have 4 rosemary plants ready to plant out this spring. Next up is the Powis Castle Artemisia. Now this plant here is a very easy one to grow from cuttings, but you'll notice here that I've got some really good green growth started on here, and there's a second one that's got a similar type of growth on it. But the rest of them just did not make it. And that's really my fault, because I forgot to water it once or twice, and the weaker plants did not make it in that particular case, the ones that didn't root as quickly. But these did okay. I've got a couple of them. Usually I would not do these during the winter time. They would be more of a spring to summer type of plant propagation plant. But, you know, I was curious if I could do it and keep it in the winter and get a couple ready for spring. So I'm going to just take out the ones that are dead here. I'm pretty sure they have no chance of making it. And that looks like about 5 here. But you know, I can move them out of the way. And I'm just going to scoop into these so I don't dump out the whole plant, and we'll check out what the roots are. These roots are not very extensive, but I'm going to go ahead and pot them up anyway so they have whatever nutrition they need for this spring to get going. The other one I'm hoping is going to have some better roots than that, because it feels like it's a bit stronger of a plant. But I've got to be careful here because I don't want to actually snap roots or break anything. It helps to moisten the sand ahead of time, which I did off camera before I brought it out. And we'll just gradually So we got some roots there. The cutting stops about right here, and the rest is roots. So it did pretty well. It's ready to go into its own little pot. So we've got 2 of those Artemisias that we can pot up, and I'll do them the same way as the Rosemary. So here you can see we got the 4 Rosemary and the 2 Powis Castle Artemisias. Now Artemisia is known for its foliage. It is a gorgeous plant in the summertime. It can get pretty large. These get about 4 foot around in a circle, so they're a really great perennial to have if you're trying to fill up a large area. They only get about 18 inches tall at most, so they're kind of a lower cover. You want them to be in front of other plantings. You don't want to get them shaded out by other things. Now these are Coleus plants. They are cuttings that I took from some plants that we potted up that were also from cuttings. And Coleus is one of those tender perennials that you can bring inside in a pot, keep it over winter, and then bring it back outdoors when you're ready to plant it again. In the meantime, if you've got it indoors, you may as well take some cuttings and increase what you have. You can see here I've done it just in a cup of water. This is one of those types of plants that I actually will do in a cup of water as opposed to putting it in soil or some other type of medium like that, like a sand or something. But they do perfectly fine in water, as you can see. And these were starting to put on roots within about 3 or 4 days of sticking them in the water, which is really fun to watch. Okay, since the Coleus is all kind of bunched together and you can see the roots are all very kind of intertwined, I'm just going to gently pull them apart where I can. I'm not going to force anything. As I get a little bit of looseness from one piece, I'll just continue working on it and trade to the next piece. Probably a better strategy is to have them singly planted in their single varieties, so then maybe you can pot them all up together. But they're pretty tough plants and they can tolerate this kind of manhandling, so to speak, but they're beautiful. Really like Coleus, and it's just such an easy plant to care for and to propagate. And they can be kind of expensive these days. They used to be fairly cheap. You could get a 6-pack of Coleus for, well, about $2. Now it's like $4-6 or so for a single plant. So, but you can do a lot with Coleus. And we're going to plant them just the same as we did the Rosemary now that we got them separated. And we'll put them into individual pots so that they can, you know, do their own thing. And here we go. We got 6 little Coleus plants ready to grow. And so what we'll do is we'll keep them under some light and take care of them. Now I'm seeing a problem that I'm going to have to address here, probably with some insecticidal soap or soapy water, but there's some little white spots that could potentially be aphids here. So I'll have to watch that and make sure that they get taken care of or spread. With aphids, if you just kind of give them a nice spray of some soapy water, just a mild soapy water solution, that usually will take care of your aphids. You can buy an insecticidal soap if you want to. Either way works. Sometimes if you just give them a really good spray with a hose. But being as how these are small and kind of tender, I don't want to spray them with the hose right now. We'll just get some soap on them and hopefully take care of that problem. But aphids generally will need a retreating after you've treated it. The interesting fact about aphids is they are born pregnant. So when they hatch, they will already have babies ready to go. So you've got to make sure that you've got each generation taken care of. Usually it takes 2 treatments or so to take care of the aphids and make sure that they're all gone. Now this is sansevieria, which is typically known as the snake plant. And I've been wanting one of these to put inside the house. We typically don't have a huge amount of house plants. We were living in a very small house with 7 people for a long time. And when we finally upgraded, I was like, yes, we can get some plants now. So, but I was looking at the prices of these things, and this pot here was about $5. The other pots, the larger ones, are like $20 to $30 for an established plant. So I went with the smaller one, intending to propagate it. And as you can see here, I cut off its ears, basically. And inside, it is regrowing from the center of this little one. Basically what you do is you trim off a piece. I could have gotten another section or 2 out of this, in fact. You let it callus, which means you leave it out in the open to kind of air dry for a little while, maybe about 24 hours. And then you go ahead and you either plant it in some moist soil that you use typically for potting, or you can cut it and do what I did and cut the tips off and root it in water. See right here? We've got some pretty decent roots showing on that. You can kind of see how it all forms from the base of the leaf. So I've got 2 of those that came off of this plant, And once those get more established, I can take more cuttings off of these. So eventually they'll multiply. Sansevieria is one of those great plants that is highly rated for air freshening your house. It is a good filter type plant that filters that air good. I think NASA rated it as one of the highest that you could possibly put in your home. Now it helps some. I'm sure the more plants you have, the better your health is going to be. And maybe that's a little bit self-serving for myself here. But we're going to pot it up, and we're going to put all of these, the cuttings and the original plant, in one small pot. It's going to have time to grow, and we're just going to take this out. You can see here it was just done in a mixture of typical starting mix. It looks like a lot of peat and some perlite in there, not much else. But it's ready to be planted into a potting soil. But I'm going to basically take this one and these other two and kind of put them in like a triangle sort of pattern and let them grow, and then I'll eventually divide them again and plant them up into larger pots as they grow. And so there you go. It's really an easy plant to take care of and propagate from. You can do it in water, you can do it in soil, and they're great for the air quality in your house. So you may as well get a few of them and make a few more off of this few that you get. Now it took about 2 months in water. I think if I'd done it in a soil mixture or a sand mixture, it might have gone faster than that. I did not use rooting hormone or anything on it, so it is completely natural. So we'll go ahead and get this inside, and when it grows a little bit, we'll divide it up and propagate some more off of it. But anyway, it's a plant well worth having inside your house. And now that I got them all potted up, don't forget to water them. They need that. It's important. One last thing on the rosemary is you want to make sure that you pinch the tips off of them. And it's very easy to do. You just come in and you use your fingers and pinch off that top. And what it does is it allows the branches to come out and become a much more bushy plant for your rosemary. More branching means more leaves, and you can use it for more things. So I just always recommend that. And when you pinch it off, you could always throw that into something that you're cooking later. So here's another update on something. These are cuttings I just took. A couple of days ago I took these of the arborvitae, which this is the green giant arborvitae. They're very easy to root. I just haven't had a green giant. I've had the emerald green, I believe is what I've had. Now over here in the back, these are blue arrow juniper, which I put up in the front garden on this house. And so I'm hoping to get some more roots, more plants rooted off of them, but you know, we'll see. I probably should have started them a month ago and gotten them into this state. They'd probably have a better shot at it then. But we'll see. It always is a good thing to try new stuff when you're plant propagating. Don't be afraid of something dying. I have killed hundreds and thousands of plants in propagation experiments. They just don't all work out. Sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just the way things are. But, you know, you never learn if you don't try. Now over here we've got a bunch of boxwoods that were successfully rooted. They were potted up in the fall, so that's a quick update. I need to pinch the tops off of them to encourage some branching out, just like I spoke about with the rosemary. Now let's go take a look at some coneflower from seed that I started. So one of my more recent videos was about actually sowing coneflower from seed. And so I wanted to give you an update on how they're doing here. And you can see we've had a lot of success on these. The big thing, they have to be stratified to get this kind of success. Fresh seed with good stratification, and you should have good germination. Now, where these are right now, you can see these are the cotyledons, or the very first leaves that are started. And you can see a lot of them are still at that state. But we've got a few that are starting to put out their first true set of leaves. So right there, that third leaf is usually one of the first true sets of leaves. Once they get a little larger and start filling up these individual cells, we'll be able to transplant them either into pots or maybe into the ground if the weather is good enough for it. But you can see here I've got a few of these that are oversown, like right there. That's got quite a few in that little cell there. So those will need split up. and separated. But I overdo it sometimes just to make sure that I get some germination in there, because you never know how it's going to turn out. And that one's got quite a few. Wow, I have to do some separation. Maybe next time I'll be a little bit more even with those seeds and make sure I get good coverage. You know, I've got some cells there that don't have anything in them. There's a couple more, but I've got a lot that do. So I'm really happy with that overall. They've done well. And so here's a little bit of an update on the tomatoes, which are started and are doing really well so far. This is how I do them. I stick them in little cups like this. I've got a lot of seeds planted in each one. And then when they are large enough, I will separate those out into individual pots that are made of core, which is a coconut byproduct. So it's a very good way to get a lot of plants out of a small space. I probably have, I'm sure I've got over 100 or so tomato plants growing right now. I'm definitely not going to need that many, but I overplant sometimes so I can either give them away or, you know, potentially I've sold them in the past. But my main thing is I want to make sure that I've got good germination, especially if I'm dealing with some older seeds. So one last important tip for you. The box stores, the nurseries, they are starting to put out plants, and you're going to be tempted to buy and to go out and plant. But just because they're putting it out doesn't mean that it's time yet. This is really important because we could still get frost. We could still get really cold days and really cold nights. We will have 70-degree days, and then we could have a 30-degree day the next day, or at least overnight. So we're not ready to plant things outdoors yet. You just need to bring them, go ahead and buy them, bring them home, take care of them in the garage or something until it's ready for actual planting. Around here, it's about April 15th. I think I mentioned that earlier in the video. I might be repeating myself, but hey, it's important. So sometimes important things are worth repeating. But I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Really appreciate you watching. Hit the like button and subscribe if this was helpful in any way, and we'll catch you next time.